the Associate Director and co-founder of the JEM Foundation. Blessed father of two and stepfather of two, Ben married his best friend Denise in 2015, and he is also an Arizona native. He has nearly 30 years of experience in the banking industry. Passions include animals, woodworking, gardening, and driving legislative changes to improve mental health care. After losing his stepson Jake to suicide in 2016, he vowed to make change happen so that no other family would have to endure the pain of losing a loved one to suicide. Together, we can bring an end to the epidemic of suicide. Welcome, Ben and Denise.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much. We also have our dog, Parity. Katie Parity helps us kind of discuss parity and bring people together. We want to just give a special thank you to AFSP, to everyone who made this possible. All of you guys that are here, thank you for being here. To our coalition members, we would not be here without you. The governor's office, and of course to our bill sponsors, Senator Brophy McGee and Representative Weniger. I wanted to start this just by showing you a picture of our son, Jake. I'm going to try not to get emotional. We talk about statistics a lot, and it's really important to understand the numbers, but I want to make sure that everybody understands that behind all of these statistics is a person that was lost, and a family and loved ones and friends that are all affected by the loss. So anytime you hear a statistic, I want you to try to remember that there's a name behind every statistic. Suicide obviously is a huge public health concern. It's reaching epidemic proportions across the United States and in Arizona. In 2018, we lost 1,532 Arizonans to drug overdoses and 1,432 to suicide. It's increasingly impacting children, and according to the latest Arizona Child Fatality Review Report, child suicide increased 32% from 2016 to 2017. 68% of those deaths occurred in children 15 to 17 years of age. So just, outstanding, just mind-blowing statistics. I want to talk a little bit about our son Jake. He had a really huge heart. He was always the kid, that would reach out to a child being bullied, or that child standing in the corner, and always bring them in. So we knew after we lost him that we had to do something to honor him. And our son was denied behavioral health care, and that's why Jake's Law is so important to us. We want to make sure that everybody has access to behavioral health care. We know that suicides are at epidemic proportions. We know drug overdoses are at epidemic proportions, but it doesn't have to be this way. There's hope, and I believe this is all preventable with the appropriate treatment and the appropriate guidelines in place. So I wanted to just go over some basics of Jake's Law with you, and we'll be here after to answer any questions. But there's a lot in the bill. Of course, the main part of it is parity. It's making sure that insurance companies are treating behavioral health equally with physical health. So anytime we say parity, I just want you to think the word equality. So it's also going to require insurance cards issued in Arizona just to clearly identify which governmental agency they need to contact. There's federal and then there's state, and we want to make sure that people know who to go to for help. We're going to require a comparative analysis report with the Department of Insurance every 3 years, or whenever there's a substantive change to a health plan, and they're going to have to demonstrate compliance with the federal parity law that already exists. It's going to prohibit an insurer from denying a claim for mental health or substance use benefits based solely on the grounds that the service was provided in an educational setting or was court-ordered. It's going to establish a mental health parity advisory committee to provide the director of the Department of Insurance advice on case management, discharge planning, and expedited reviews and appeal processes for cases involving suicidal ideation. So it establishes and appropriates money for a suicide mortality review team with the Department of Health Services. It's going to expand access to behavioral health services in schools. It's going to require the Department of Health Services to establish rules for discharge protocols for patients admitted for suicidal ideation or a suicide attempt, including information on crisis services, referrals, insurance repeals, processes, suicide risk assessments, and more. So there's a lot in this bill. Please write your legislators, let them know that you support Jake's Law, ask them to support Jake's Law. Thank you again for being here with us.
A couple of things. I'm just here to look pretty. She knows all the information. the JEM Foundation is JEM. J-E-M is Jacob Edward Wachowski. That's how he came up with the name. And if you'll notice in our logo, there's an airplane in the diamond. And Jake loved to fly. He wanted to be in the Air Force. You know, big dreams, great kid. I'm a very visual person. Something I like to leave people with is that we lose over 47,000 people in the United States to suicide every year. We can fill Chase Field every year with the number of people we lose to suicide. So this bill is more than we could have ever dreamed of and hoped for. And thank you, representatives and senators. And please tell your friends to write their representatives in support of this. We need everybody. Everyone needs to weigh in. We gotta get this thing passed. But thank you all for being here.
Thank you.